The stage lights were blinding. Freddie McClendon, a 19-year-old with a heart full of hope and a guitar strapped across his shoulder, stood nervously. This was his chance. American Idol awaited. He was ready to share his gift with the world. But first, he had to face the judges. Luke Bryan, Katy Perry, Lionel Richie. His heart pounded. He took a breath and began to sing. His voice, a raw and powerful instrument, filled the room. The song, an original piece titled "You Never Loved Him," was a gut-wrenching ballad. It told a story of love, loss, and the searing pain of a son robbed of his father. Freddie sang about the night his world shattered, the night his father, Davis McClendon, was taken from him. The lyrics were laced with anger, grief, and a longing for justice. The judges sat transfixed. Their faces, usually alight with smiles, were etched with concern. They felt the raw emotion in Freddie's voice. This was not just a performance. It was a young man pouring his soul into every word. As the final notes faded, silence engulfed the room. Then, applause. Thunderous, heartfelt applause that seemed to shake the very foundation of the theater. Luke Bryan, visibly moved, spoke first. "Son, that was one of the most powerful auditions I've ever witnessed." Katy Perry, tears welling in her eyes, added, "Your story is heartbreaking, but your strength is inspiring." Lionel Richie, a father himself, could only nod in agreement. Freddie McClendon, the boy with a song and a story, had touched their hearts. He had touched America's heart. Greenwood, South Carolina. A quiet town where life moved at a slower pace. That peace was shattered on a warm night in May 2023. Davis McClendon, a beloved father and respected member of the community, was walking home from a friend's house. It was a routine he followed often. A car approached. Headlights cut through the darkness. Then, the unthinkable. The screech of tires. A sickening thud. The car sped away, leaving Davis lying injured in the street. Witnesses rushed to his aid. The police and paramedics arrived quickly, but it was too late. Davis McClendon, just 46 years old, was pronounced dead at the scene. His life, full of laughter, love, and the promise of tomorrow, was cut tragically short. The hit and run sent shock waves through Greenwood. Who would do such a thing? Why? The questions lingered, heavy in the air, as the community mourned the loss of one of their own. The police launched an investigation. They worked tirelessly, determined to bring the person responsible to justice. Leads were followed, evidence was analyzed, and slowly, a picture began to emerge. This was no accident. It was a deliberate act, a cold-blooded murder. The investigation led them to Larry Bud Ackerman Jr., the estranged husband of Davis McClendon's girlfriend. The pieces of the puzzle were falling into place. The evidence against Larry Ackerman Jr. was overwhelming. Eyewitness accounts placed him at the scene of the crime. Security footage from a nearby business captured his car speeding away. And perhaps the most damning evidence of all, the murder weapon, a dented and blood-stained car, was found abandoned near his home. The trial was a media spectacle. Cameras crowded the courtroom, capturing every twist and turn of the proceedings. Freddie McClendon, his heart heavy with grief, sat stoically through it all. The prosecution presented a compelling case, laying out the evidence against Ackerman in chilling detail. They painted a picture of a man driven by jealousy and rage, a man who took the life of another, in a fit of uncontrolled anger. The defense, desperate to save their client, argued that it was a case of mistaken identity, that Ackerman was not the man behind the wheel that fateful night. The jury, however, was unconvinced. After days of deliberation, they returned with a verdict, guilty of murder in the first degree. A collective gasp filled the courtroom. Freddie McClendon, his face etched with a mixture of relief and sadness, closed his eyes as if a weight had been lifted from his shoulders. Justice had been served, but it wouldn't bring his father back. Larry Ackerman Jr. was sentenced to 45 years in prison, a harsh but just punishment for his crime. The case of Davis McClendon's murder captivated the nation. It was a story of love, loss, and the enduring power of the human spirit. 48 Hours, the acclaimed true crime series, dedicated an episode to the case. They interviewed Freddie McClendon, who spoke eloquently about his father and the impact his death had on his life. He shared his music, his pain, and his journey of healing through song. Freddie's American Idol audition went viral. Millions watched online, moved by his raw talent and his heartbreaking story. He became a symbol of resilience, a beacon of hope for anyone who has ever experienced loss. He wasn't just a contestant on a singing competition, he was a young man using his voice to honor his father's memory and to inspire others. Freddie McClendon sailed through the early rounds of American Idol, his voice getting stronger with each performance. He poured his heart and soul into every song, his grief and his love for his father fueling his passion. He didn't win the competition, but he won the hearts of millions. Freddie McClendon's journey was a testament to the power of music to heal, to inspire, and to remind us that even in the darkest of times there is always hope. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, and ring the bell for more interesting content.